So, guys, have you ever been in a situation where you're like, I know these movies are out, but I don't really know if I should watch them? I realize that people probably turn to us for wisdom, and tonight we have some for them.
Let's do it.
Film is a medium that transports. All I have to do is pop myself in front of the TV to watch a movie, and I can just enjoy it, whatever place the film takes me to.
Movies have always been an escape. It gives you a whole new world to be in.
I have a rekindled love affair with movies.
Welcome, everyone, to this episode of Real to Real Talk. I am Sergio Barrera, and it is time to talk movies. And y'all know I love talking movies with the other Real to Real talkers, Susan Chisholm and Paul Britton. Team, welcome to a mini episode, as we're going to call it, where we're going to talk about two new releases that I can sort of sum up from my experience in one word: cute.
Yeah, that's honestly, yeah, that's.
Thank you. Good night.
Yeah, that's it. We're good.
The end.
Yeah. That's exactly the word that I used when my wife and son watched Luca with me, and as soon as it was over, I was like, "Well, that was really cute."
Yeah, and it's not a slight. It's not a slight. Tonight we will be talking about Luca, Pixar's latest release on Disney Plus, and we will also be talking about a very, very interesting turn by one Kevin Hart with the movie Fatherhood. And so I'm excited to talk about this. Now, we will be doing an abbreviated episode this week as we prepare for special announcement time, our 75th episode, which will be airing next week. Don't worry, it's going to be, it's only going to be 4 hours long. I'm just kidding.
It's the Snyder
we're going to talk about 13th Warrior.
Yeah.
And every single Fast and Furious movie. So you'll want to tune in. Now, I probably just turned off a bunch of people.
Definitely the Fast and Furious movies.
We will talk about them. Yes, because we will be. I don't know about extensively, but we will have things to say as we lead up to a review on the latest installment, the Fast and the Furious. I think it's 122. So we will, or maybe 9.
9.
So I'm waiting for the movie where they finally just name it The Slow and Slightly Annoyed. So it's because it just goes on.
It should. The next one should be just called FF, and then like F, and then parentheses Amly, and F parentheses Erst, family first. That's what.
There you go.
Yeah,
there is a theme for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm glad we're talking about the movies we're talking about because our friend Janine has commented. She says, "Literally saw Fatherhood earlier today, and watching Luca for the 100th time with my kids now in just a few days." So that's quite an achievement since it just came out. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a look. Luca is one of those rare Pixar movies that is definitely geared towards kids. Like this one is not going to be transcending any sort of like magical heartstring boundaries or anything like that. It's just going to be like, here's a fun movie for kids, and it's got a good message, and enjoy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we'll get to that. But first, let's talk Fatherhood. Fatherhood is a Netflix release starring Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
And it is, for him, quite the dramatic turn.
Sure.
I wouldn't say this is his first dramatic role, as he was in a movie with Bryan Cranston a couple of years ago.
Right.
Which, of course, right now I can't think of the title of.
Yeah.
But this is by far the most range that I've seen from Kevin Hart, and an ability to act in a more subdued fashion. So as we begin our look at Fatherhood, I have to say that as this movie played out, I was impressed. I really enjoyed this film. And it's not usually my cup of tea, this kind of family friendly, it hits a lot of common tropes. as it tells the story of a man who loses his wife right after the birth of his daughter, and there was a sorry, I just saw Janine's comment. I don't know if you guys did.
Please don't die.
Yeah. Just looked at my husband and said, "Please don't die." And was again, I was really impressed at the way in which the story unfolded, and the acting across this film was pretty darn awesome. I mean, Alfre Woodard, come on.
Alfre Woodard, yeah.
What a treasure. What a treasure.
Amazing.
It's, it for the subject matter, it was significantly more funny than I was anticipating.
Oh, sure.
It really managed to find the humor in situations where you weren't expecting it. Like, obviously you expect there to be poop and pee and diaper changing shenanigans.
Right.
I don't care for those ever. And
I thought it wasn't overdone.
It was not overdone, but it was there. It was there. Like, they had the obligatory, I have poop on my shirt, so
I think of the missed basket. But
that was good. Like, I wasn't. Yeah.
Susan?
But as a parent, I mean, Paul, there was not nearly enough poop on shirts.
No, but
for real life.
I
could embarrass the hell out of my now 14-year-old son with some stories.
Yeah.
Nice.
We won't, because he's not watching, but when he does.
No, but those are the, honestly, of the movie, those are the low lights. Like, those are the throwaway moments that I just don't care for. But they did a really good job of not making it overly sappy, even though you know exactly where it's going. At no point, like, every beat of this movie is like, oh yeah, I know what's going to happen next, but it didn't matter, because they really made Kevin Hart super likable. The little girl from the second, the little girl that plays his daughter from the second act on, is ridiculously, amazingly cute and super talented. And it had Alfre Woodard. So what else?
What more do you want?
What else do you need? Exactly.
The movie is based on the book Two Kisses for Maddie, a memoir of loss and love by Matthew Loughlin. And it inspired the screenplay that was put together for this film. The cast is fantastic. Not just Alfre Woodard or Kevin Hart. Of course, Melody Hurd, who plays Maddie, like you said, from the second act on, is just an absolute dream. She's fantastic. She hits all of her beats. She's really, really strong in the role. And other actors that are in this film, Paul Reiser makes an appearance.
He was so good as the boss. He was
really
so good as the boss. Yeah.
And the role that for me just really, for some reason, touched my heart was Frankie Faison as Mike, Alfre Woodard's husband, and Kevin Hart's wife's father. And he was just in it for a couple of scenes, but what he did well. And it was just a really good story that, while predictable, it was an enjoyable watch. Janine brings up a part of the movie that she enjoyed, and I think I really want to get our thoughts on this as well. There's a scene where Kevin Hart barges into a mom's group, and she says,
group. It's a parents group.
Thank you. He makes that point.
Yeah.
She writes, parenting groups can seriously be so brutal, and it was great that they touched on the gender roles that get stereotyped. There are so many dads out there that are in situations like this, and it was cool to see on screen. Susan, talk a little bit about the way you felt during that scene, and then we'll get Paul's thoughts as well.
I was sitting there going, finally, like, somebody said something about it, because I know one of my really good friends is kind of in an almost exact situation. Like, his wife passed away. Their child was a little bit older than Maddie was when she passed away. So dad was already kind of in the swing of things, but like, he suffers with it all the time. He talks about like going to, having to be careful going to the playground with her, because all the moms are like, well, who are you here with? Whereas sometimes we see, one of the stereotypes we see is like single dad, and they go to the park and moms are like, oh, look at you, you're so sweet. But it's not like that. It's more like the brutal, like, questions first, rather than just people assuming intentions, I think. But when I saw that on there, and the way he was like, it's it says parents on the door.
Right.
Like
that was cool.
It's so like that.
Yeah, it was a good moment. It was a good moment, and there wasn't too much. You see, it's interesting because with this movie, there are so many stereotypes that you can fall into with these types of movies. And there was they hit on every single one. Like they almost fell into them, but then like prevented from going too far deep. You know, like the dad that is not good at making food, and so ends up at a restaurant because he can't make the food, and the dad that is not good at getting his kid ready in the morning, and so the hair looks terrible, and but they only did that a little bit, and they didn't lean too heavy on it, so it ended up working out, I thought.
It didn't draw its humor from making fun of somebody.
Right.
Yeah. That's what I liked about it.
Yeah, that's a great point. I know that as the movie began, I was sort of shaken up, and I'm not a parent, so there's a frame of reference that I'm missing here, but I was able to glean from the actions of those that were in the film. But I thought it was a little heavy on his wife's mom's like immediate reaction, like, you can't do this, until I remembered that they had slipped in that line about the crib not being ready, and so they sort of packed that really quickly and heavily in on the first, say, 10 minutes or so.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But then to your point, I liked that the rest of the film wasn't about him just being a bumbling dad that can't get it right. It was a story about a man who found ways to accomplish the necessary things to be a successful father.
Yeah.
And in fact, in many ways, mother as well. I mean, he played both roles. Yeah. And also there was that moment of realization that you can't do it alone. There's a community of people that are willing to help. And so it was a very sweet film, and one that I'm glad I had a chance to watch.
Agreed.
Yeah, definitely.
So for those watching, you know that here on Reel to Reel Talk, we have a 5 taco rating system. A movie can receive as many as 5 tacos. And if you want to give it some extra love, you can throw in some extra guac. So Susan, we'll start with you for the movie Fatherhood starring Kevin Hart. Tell us what your taco rating is going to be.
I'm gonna say 4 tacos. I'm leaning towards the guac. I just don't know yet. I part of me wants to go back and watch it again so I can know for sure. But like I really liked that there were a lot of points made that people don't realize about being a single parent. I think that especially a single dad. And shout out to my friend James. Like, you're living it. Like, So but again, like. It would have gotten, I think, a little bit more, and it would have gotten the guac probably if it had kind of developed a little bit more on the outside. I think, like Paul said, with leaning really heavily onto those stereotypes of bumbling dad and stuff like that, which it didn't go too far into it, but there were points when it felt just a little bit longer than it should have been. But still, it made the point. But it made the point and it kept going. So I think that's what didn't earn it the guac.
Gotcha. All right, Paul.
Yeah, I'm going with 3 tacos, but a really cute 3 tacos.
All right. I don't know what cute tacos look like, but okay. But the smiley faces,
the guacamole, or not I did not do guac, so but like the cheese is nice and spread around. I don't know. It's cute.
Gotcha.
Well put together.
Well, there you go. All right. Well, I'm going to go with 3 tacos plus guac for this film. I think that there was a lot of room for a little more work within each of the character development and the overall story itself. But when I say 3 tacos, to me, it's really solid tacos. Like this, to me, this does deserve a rewatch at some point. I know that there will be those out there who will love it and enjoy it and have a very different lens than I did, but it gets the guac because of the heart, not just Kevin Hart, but the heart that this movie has. I felt like I knew the characters. I think particularly of the character Oscar. He and his wife are the ones that help, they help Kevin or Matt and the character throughout the film. His wife babysits, and he's always there. He's sort of the comedic moment in the film, more so than even Kevin Hart. But it's like I felt like I knew Oscar and understood who he was. And I came out of it feeling like I could get to know this family and really like being around them. So there was something about the impact of the film itself that earns it the guac for me, because it really was a sweet movie, and one that I have to say I really enjoyed. So that is our view on Fatherhood. You can find it on Netflix. And as we always say, we encourage you to watch it and decide for yourself, and then share with us your thoughts on our social media. Don't forget, you can find us on Facebook at Real to Real Talk. If you're watching us there, we thank you. Please leave comments and like the posts, and check back and see what else we've talked about over the last 74 episodes, not including this one because this is a little bit of a mini. But you can also see our posters for our shows on Instagram all the way back to the beginning, so follow us there as well. And here on YouTube, we thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And also click that notification bell so you know when our episodes land week to week. All right, that brings us to Pixar's latest release, a film called Luca. Very cute. Luca is... what has my history with you guys been when it comes to animated films? Let's just start there for a
You
brief.
don't like them. You're a curmudgeon, and God forbid.
Impact isn't there for
Right.
you. That's what it is that you don't have that same. It doesn't hit
The
you
emotional
the same way.
impact that these movies usually have for me and other people with a heart just don't register for you. So
Wow.
reason, so.
Wow. I'm sorry about Coco. So the thing with Luca that right away drew me in was the colors. The colors of and the use of color throughout this film. And Pixar just has it when it comes to animation and water. It was just such a beautifully put together film from a visual standpoint. Don't get me wrong, it ain't no Ratatouille, okay? But I was immediately swept away by the visuals of this movie, and
absolutely,
and then the story sucked me in because set in Italy, Italian actors, not overdone accents in most cases.
But even like when they were overdoing it, they were like purposefully overdoing it. Like it was like, here we are being funny and overdoing it.
Right, exactly. Although Jim Gaffigan and Maya Rudolph. There was a point where their accent, they weren't even trying. It was just, let's play the characters and that's that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to fault the movie for that. But this was a beautifully put together film from a visual standpoint, a very cute story. So, Susan, we'll start with you. Your thoughts on Luca. What stood out to you? What made an impact? Maybe were there any opportunities?
Okay, so my kids are not in town. My kids are with their grandparents for the week. And I watched this movie and I was like, man, the kids would just love this. And I was sitting there going like, oh, this is great. Like you said, the colors are just vibrant and incredible and they draw you in. The story, I think, it feels like it's a little bit rushed, especially like towards the end of it. Like everything fell into place really fast. Which, I mean, they probably didn't want to make it a huge long ass movie, which I totally get that. I think that and this is something that Cullen walked in. My husband walked in at the last 45 minutes or so. Last let's say 30 minutes, and watched it with me. And I kind of caught him up really quick as to what was going on, what happened. And he was like, "Man, I could see that becoming like a series, like a cartoon series about the adventures of of Luca and
Alberto.
I was like, it starts with an A. And I think that, like you said, the accents were not overdone, except when they were. But I think that and there were certain things that I was expecting out of the movie that didn't happen, and I'm happy. Like, they were kids. They needed to be kids. But often you see these kids in these coming of age stories where they find interest in another person or, other. Anyway, I was kind of halfway expecting it to turn into something with Luca and Julia. That it was going to be like he falls in love with her, and it's just like it didn't need that, and it didn't have that, and it was good because I was like, oh, well, okay, that's cool.
They were just friends. They were
exactly just really good friends, and it was great to see because that shows kids it's okay to just be friends. You don't have to like try to fall in love with somebody, because my kids have mentioned that before. Like, why do we have to start dating somebody so young? And I'm like, you don't.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. You don't have to. But I thought it was really sweet. I thought it was adorable. Cute movie, cute story, cute concept that, the acceptance at the end is like really awesome. So yeah, that's me.
Paul, as whatever you're going to say, please comment to me on the character of Ercole.
The bad guy. So the bad guy was, and that's the thing about this movie, and like with other Pixar movies, sometimes the bad guy, you don't really know who the bad guy is going to be. Sometimes,
yeah.
This is one of those where you know exactly who the bad guy is. Like he's just a D-bag from the very get-go, and he's like he's so over the top douchey that it's just like
very funny.
It's really and like that Alberto, like I thought the bad guy at Alberto really did a great job of being the good comic sources throughout, just always like just there to like just lighten the mood, and it's just great fun. It just was a fun movie. Like that's the thing that stuck out for me. I just really enjoyed watching it. Like, they had the Italian old ladies, and they were super fun to watch, when every time they would pop up, and Luca's grandmother was hilarious.
Yes.
It's just and like just this idea that the kids are competing in a triathlon, and like the bad guy's like competing when he's like 19 or 20, right. And it's like, you kidding, right? Like and like, why are the kids in a triathlon at the beginning with? It's just like, it's so fun.
And
like,
why is one of the events eating pasta?
And one of the legs is eating pasta. It's like, of course the girl's gonna throw up. Yeah, that's
I know, but
come on.
Yeah, I'm supposed to buy that. You're gonna. There's a leg where you swim, a leg where you ride your bike, and then there's a leg where you eat pasta. Which I'm like, well, I'll do the pasta part.
Well, the pasta's right in the middle too, so right, it's like, yes, you are gonna throw up.
Exactly.
If you try to do it on your own, there's just no way around that.
The three of us could do it. We could do this. I could swim pretty well.
Okay, cool. I'll get the bike.
Okay, I'll start to
we
eat
got
pasta. But yeah, no, I echo what you guys said. This was a cute film. It was fun. Mm-hmm. It was reaching for that emotional moment. It just didn't quite get there because it was so cute.
Yeah, see, I don't even think that I don't even like, where would you say it reached? Like, I just felt like I guess towards the end, between him and Alberto, right. I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
That whole notion of like, they were supposed to travel together. They had this plan. But there was just so much.
Oh, the Vespa! Oh my god!
Right, exactly.
So fucking funny. Like
that whole sequence of when they start putting their own together. Every bit of that sequence was fantastic.
Freaking-tastic.
Yeah,
and like
so
just the whole concept of of Italy and Vespas is just
yeah.
The only point where I was worried was in the first few minutes when I thought, okay, I've seen The Little Mermaid, because he's, looking for things, and I'm like, oh, please don't rehash things. But no, it became its own story.
Yeah,
and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I think this time around, Paul, we'll start with you. Your taco rating for the movie Luca from Pixar, Disney Pixar.
I'm going back to the 3 taco well. It was 3 tacos, which is good. Like, though, hey, 3 tacos is good. That's fine. Oh, yeah. I like it. I would recommend people, anytime I give something 3 tacos or more, definitely go watch it. But I mean, here's part of the thing that's holding the Luca back is it's competing against, Coco and WALL-E and Up and Ratatouille and Inside Out and all these other 5 tacos with guac movies. And it's just kind of like, it's not there. It's just, it doesn't have that extra, Pixar oomph that, really drives home a message. It's just a super fun movie, but that's okay, because it's a super fun movie. So there you go.
Indeed.
Soul.
Susan, your thoughts on Luca?
I I mean, I'm gonna land back in the Four Tacos because to me it was cute. It was to me the message was kind of like don't like accepting others, like be yourself,
Sure.
accept others, doesn't matter, you know. It doesn't get any more than that because I think you hit the nail on the head, Sergio, when you said that it was reaching for a moment that it didn't actually get. And that's what I was meaning when I was talking about that it was rushed. But like the scene between Luca and Alberto, and he's just like, you know, I'm so sorry and everything. It's just like, you know, a kid that age does not forgive that easily.
Yeah.
Like, come on now.
Yeah.
You know, so I think, you know, I definitely will watch it again with the kids. Maybe not 100 times like Janine, but you know, pretty close. I have
Pretty
3
close.
kids and they all want to watch it separately.
There you go.
But yeah, Four Tacos is where I'm going with that one.
All right. Well, for myself, another strong 3 tacos plus guac for Luca. Again, I look at it against the entire body of Pixar and what our experience with that is. It definitely beats out Onward. I'll say that. In that it Onward was cute. This movie was cute. Plus, it was just visually beautiful. It was just, there were so many aspects to it that I like. And again, I watch animated movies through a very different lens than the two of you, and I'm sure many others. So for me to have been riveted from moment one all the way to the end, you know, really for me earns a strong 3 tacos plus guac. Definitely encourage folks to see it because it's a lot of fun. It really is. And it's very sweet. It's very sweet.
It's good.
So that is our thought on Luca. You can find it on Disney Plus. And I have to ask this, Paul, because I think it's available now, but Raya and the Last Dragon, I think that's what we're talking about when we say it's not in the same league as some of the things that Pixar puts out, or am I misspeaking there?
Raya is not Pixar. Raya is
it's
Disney
not?
animation. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
All right.
But I like Raya.
But you can find it in the same portal. So
yep, you can find it right there in Disney Plus. It's there free now. It's part of the service. So yeah, I really liked Raya. Like, but you know, again, not like Moana or not like Wreck-It Ralph.
Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah,
I love Wreck-It Ralph.
I know, it's so good. Okay.
Good night. No. That is one of my absolute favorite movies.
I know.
Yeah.
All right.
Indeed. All right. Well,
say your thing. Come on.
Yes. Thank you all for thank you all for joining us for a quick episode this week as we looked at Fatherhood and Luca. If you're just coming in, make sure you catch the replay here in just a bit as it posts on Facebook and on YouTube. Don't forget, go like us, follow us, click the hearts and likes and all that fun stuff. You can find us on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe. Also, click that notification bell so you know when our episodes land. We will be back next week with our 75th episode. And just a little bit of a quick note for the two of you. We have done more video episodes than we ever did audio episodes. We're at 42. That was a shocker to me as I was doing the counts. So join us next week as we take down the Fast and Furious franchise. We do a little bit of reminiscing, and we just have much more fun talking movies for all of you with one another. But don't forget the most important thing we tell you every single week: you are awesome, you're amazing, and the world's a better place because you are in it. We thank you so much for joining us here on Real to Real Talk. Have a good night, and we'll see you next week for episode 75. Good night, everybody.
Good night.